Damn. Baby girl sexy as fuck. Damn. I know she see me. Bartender. Let me get a drink for her and me. What? Just ask her what she drinking on. What? Baby girl. What you think this is? You feeling how I'm feeling now? Hey, you know? I can't help it, no lie. Baby fine, caught my eye. Don't you look surprised? Cute legs, thick thighs with that fat ass behind. Make me wanna wife you forever. Make you mine, baby. What's the deal? Is you feeling how I feel? What up, what up, what up? Y'all already know what it is, man. Need a woman to keep Sweetest Day. Sweetest Day. Is it for men or is it for all parties, though? FAKALAHA podcast. Y'all like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube as well as on Facebook. About to definitely get into one and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Let me get this together. For the truth, LB, and I think I finally found my love Jones and he. Well, come on, baby, let's go on up out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying? Let's discuss more, dog. Yes, sir, man. Welcome to the FAKALAHA podcast. Got one for y'all today. Sweetest Day. Is it for men or is it for both parties? And a lot of this been going on lately, though. A lot of speculation, a lot of this and that. A lot of men, they ain't been getting treated right due to this matter. It seemed like women had hijacked this day from the men. So I got a video to establish a lot of things. I haven't even seen it all the way. It was just already starting off good. So with that being said, I'm going to drop this disclaimer right quick. Alrighty, now we about to get into this video. After the video, we definitely will comment on it and stuff as well. Let me do something right real fast and shit, cause I just can't believe this ain't popping up and shit. Is this it? Okay. Alrighty. Alright, now there we go. You know all the little things count. With that being said, man, let's get into the Sweetest Day video and shit, man. Oh yeah, without being said, y'all go ahead and hit that bell button, like and subscribe to the channel, especially on YouTube and on this Facebook platform as well, though. All right, let's get into this shit.
Have you ever heard of Sweetest Day? Some people think of it as a kind of extra Valentine's Day that comes around every year on the third Saturday in October. If you haven't heard of it, then you probably don't live here along the icy shores of the Great Lakes. Many people who live here know about Sweetest Day, but some choose not to celebrate it. But why? Why would anyone intentionally avoid the opportunity to show appreciation and affection for those they love? It could be that these Sweetest Day deniers are engaged in a more popular tradition on the third Saturday in October, college football. Or has this lake effect snow simply frozen their hearts? I don't think so. What's more likely is that these otherwise delightful people have fallen victim to the greeting card myth.
It was made up. There's no real reason to celebrate it. It's payback for all the stuff men do on Valentine's Day. It's the women's turn to do something.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
She said payback.
Well, isn't it a made-up holiday? Didn't Hallmark make it up?
Just kind of always been under the impression that it's made up, like greeting cards.
Do you celebrate it? No.
So is Sweetest Day some kind of Hallmark holiday? Yeah! No. Hallmark didn't invent its first Sweetest Day card until the 1960s, while the first Sweetest Day was held in 1921 in Cleveland, Ohio, where, coincidentally, American Greetings is headquartered. But they didn't
Shout out
invent
to
it either.
Cleveland.
They were busy in 1921
We
printing
do
picture
this shit.
postcards for
Let me
Euclid
wind
Beach
that part
amusement
back
park.
down.
In fact,
Damn, hold on.
1921 printing picture post 1921 in Cleveland, Ohio, where, coincidentally, American Greetings is headquartered. But they didn't invent it either. They were busy in 1921 printing picture postcards for Euclid Beach amusement park. In fact, it wasn't the greeting card industry at all behind the origin of Sweetest Day. It was the candy industry. Oh, thank you. On May 10, 1916, the National Confectioners Association held its 33rd annual convention here at the Hotel Statler in Detroit, Michigan, where the group of candy makers voted to approve an historic resolution. We so move that the second Saturday of the month of October in each year be designated as Candy Day. The first celebration of Candy Day will be held on the 14th of October next. A little effort and hard work by all hands in our industry will make Candy Day the happiest and sweetest day in the year. And that was the first time anybody ever used the term sweetest day. The first Candy Day, October 14th, 1916, was not a strong success, so the industry pledged to put more energy behind it in the following year, including giving it a new slogan, Candy Day, the sweetest day in the year. But Candy Day 1917 was not to be because someone insisted that it be canceled, and you've probably heard of him, Herbert Hoover. As October 1917 approached, Herbert Hoover, head of the U.S. Food Administration and future U.S. President, heard about Candy Day and went ballistic. After all, it was his job to make sure that U.S. soldiers fighting in World War I had enough to eat, and he did this by creating reserves of essential foods like wheat and sugar. Hoover reminded the candy makers, rather harshly, that the nation was at war, there was a sugar shortage, and any attempt to promote a national Candy Day ran contrary to the war effort to conserve sugar. Not wanting to seem unpatriotic, the candy industry promptly canceled Candy Day. As Mr. Hoover had requested everyone everywhere to cut down as much as possible on their usings of sugar, he considered that Candy Day was an effort on the part of our industry in the very opposite direction. Therefore, we shall discontinue further activities and publicity related to nationwide Candy Day. America. And that was the end of Candy Day. But that's okay, because as it turns out, the confectionery industry really didn't need a national Candy Day to boost sales in October. That's because another holiday was growing in popularity. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Scottish and Irish immigrants arriving in America brought with them the ancient Celtic tradition of guising, which comes from the word disguise. Today, we call that trick-or-treating. After the end of World War I, when the sugar shortage was over, Candy Day was reimagined and reborn, this time officially as Sweetest Day. And it started on October 8, 1921 in Cleveland. According to mythology, a candy company employee named Herbert Birch Kingston organized the first Sweetest Day, not necessarily to sell candy, but to bring happiness to orphans, shut-ins, and others who were forgotten. By all accounts, Kingston was involved in the first Sweetest Day, but not as a candy company employee. In 1921, he was the president of the Kingston Company, an advertising agency located on the third floor of this office building in downtown Cleveland. Kingston was an ad man. So what did Herbert Birch Kingston do for Sweetest Day? Well, for one thing, it's likely that he helped orchestrate the publication of this special advertising section, which ran in the October 2nd, 1921 edition of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. The newspaper acknowledges how these 8 Cleveland confectioners came together to form the first Sweetest Day in the Year committee. The group's promotional efforts also included recruiting 2 silent movie stars, Ann Pennington, who later shocked the nation by appearing nude in the 1925 film The Mad Dancer, and Theda Bara, the original Queen of Goth, who became a household name after starring in the movie Cleopatra. On the first Sweetest Day, the Founding Fathers distributed 10,000 boxes of candy to Cleveland orphanages and other charities, while these 2 silent movie stars passed out thousands more to the underprivileged at local movie theaters. In addition, Ann Pennington gave candy to 2,500 newsboys who stormed the Cleveland Advertising Club, where Herbert Birch Kingston was most likely a member. The day was a huge success. Everywhere we went, we were greeted with cheers. At one nursing home, an elderly lady told us with tears in her eyes that no one ever thought of giving them candy. So the 8 men we have to thank for spearheading the first Sweetest Day, along with Kingston, and bringing so much joy into the world, are these members of the 1921 Sweetest Day in the Year Committee. These men must be given great credit for the success of the Sweetest Day campaign. all of Cleveland knows what was accomplished. In October of 2000, Herbert Kingston's youngest daughter, the late Janet Kingston Knapp, wrote a letter to Hallmark thanking the company for finally acknowledging her father's role in the creation of Sweetest Day.
This day meant very much to my father, and he would be so happy that it is still being celebrated now. My dad was the kindest, loving man, not only to his children, but to everyone.
While working to organize that first Sweetest Day, Herbert Birch Kingston fell in love with this idea of kindness and tenderness. In fact, soon after the holiday, Kingston quit the advertising business and started a candy company. But the question remains, given that Sweetest Day has its roots in a candy promotion, should we celebrate it? Well, consider this advice from a 16th century Italian poet. Any time not spent on love is wasted.
Wow. Well, there y'all have it, man. All this time, we've been wondering how this holiday came about. And it all had to do with candy, though. It really didn't have nothing to do with, like, how Valentine's Day is, but more like about candy. So I guess they substitute the candy part and left it at trick-or-treating for Halloween. And I could see where they got the idea of making it more like for men due to the fact that these men have founded this, and if it wasn't for this, then I guess women or people wouldn't have a sense of appreciation to please their man or something, or please their friend or whatever the case may be. So shout out to Cleveland, Ohio, though, man. My city, my state. And we always play a part in a lot of things, too, though, and shit. Especially when you hear movies, they always mention Cleveland. Like, shout out to Cleve, man. We the underdogs of this shit. But for the most part, though, to all the women out there, now that y'all know, and also y'all should go ahead and treat y'all man or y'all male friends or somebody y'all take fond of and show them a good time. Cook some dinner for them. Take them out to eat. Get them some good sex. Let them watch football. Don't interrupt them. Just be a sweetheart to them, though. And y'all fellas, for those that letting y'all women hijack this holiday from y'all take that shit back and make it y'all day, man. Other than that, happy Sweetie Day to all, and I'm out. FAKALAHA.
I really need to express myself to you. I've been feeling this certain kind of way, and I can't explain. And I'll tell you something, I just hope you turn the feelings, cause this is some of my bones I got for you. This real talk, like, damn. Wanna explain this feeling I feel it too, then I know it's real. Remember the time we first hooked up, couldn't do nothing to split us up. Quivering my soul when I feel your touch, when we made love, can't get enough. Find myself thinking of you day, damn, can't wait to see you, baby. So proud, made me your lady, and when I know I drove you crazy. For that reason, give much respect, gonna make sure there's no regrets. And daddy, I know your status that, pick me cause I'm a perfect match. Loyalty ain't what I lack, rain or shine, good or bad, right or wrong, rich or poor. You already know I'm got your back, in your eyes I can see myself, be myself. Kinda love you don't need no wealth, never self thinking of itself. Told me I'll be the one and only. The rest of my life he want to show. My man for sure king. Diamond ring made me his queen. Could this be that love thing? Could it be just wishful thinking? If I'm sleeping, why I keep blinking? Must be woke cause I'm daydreaming.